Welcome everyone. Thank you all for coming to this lunch lecture of the VvTP Symposium. My name is Sjoerd and I'm part of the organizing committee and I will be moderating today. We would appreciate it greatly if you would turn your cameras on so that we can see each other. But please remember that this lecture will be recorded. This week's theme is to look at current innovations with a vision on the future. Each day we will have a lecturer share their own vision in their own unique way. We hope this will guide you to develop your own vision. Today, Dr. Maria Sovago will give a lecture. Maria is a lecturer at TU Delft and she founded Australia, where she coaches scientists, researchers and engineers to be a more authentic leader and how to share their knowledge. She has a passion for science, technology and theater, and I hope she will share that with us today. Maria will present her vision in an interactive lecture, so we hope you all participate. Please welcome Maria Sovago.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome in this fantastic afternoon. The sun is shining from outside. There is no better place to be than here to imagine today together and to create your own vision. Because this is a very interactive lecture, I would like to welcome everybody to put the cameras on because we will need to see each other. This is not a typical lecture where we sit down home and just listening and seeing slides. This is very, very interactive. We have Hilde den Boer. You'll see her quite early in. Exactly, she's waving to us. Hilde is together with a few other participants in a lecture room at the University of Delft. May I ask everybody there to wave to us? Yes, very good, very good. And the people home who did not put yet the cameras, can you put the cameras back on? And let's wave back to Hilde and the participants live. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Very nice to see you all. I have one message for you today, and that's important. Vision means daring to imagine, daring to create without any borders, without any constraints. And this is what we are going to do today together. My name is Maria Sovago. I'm a physics lecturer at the University of Delft, and I started a few years back my own coaching company called Australia because I had a vision. And my vision was, I would like every talent of each one of us, scientist, engineer, researcher, to be put in value. I want people to shine. And that's what Australia stands for, shining. And this is what we're going to do together today, but shining in a way of imagination, of creating things together. Okay. I want today to dare together to imagine the future and what science and technology can mean for us, not today, not tomorrow, but in 2050 and beyond. And you might imagine, how can we do that? How can we do that? Because right now we live in quite uncertain and very complex and ambiguous environment, society. We don't know what the regulations will be tomorrow, we'll hear tonight. We don't know what will happen in 1 year. How can we imagine what will happen in 2050 and beyond? And yet we can do that. We can dare to have that creativity and imagination. Why? Because once we were kids. And when we are kids, we have a lot of imagination. We have a lot of creativity. We dare to dream without any borders, without any limitation. Aha. And that's in fact what happened to us from that creativity part to bring us today to have that daring of the imagination. And question to you now, the question to you is, what did you dream about when you were a kid? What did you dream to become? What did you dream the world will look like when you grow up? This is an open question for all of you. I'm going to share now my whiteboard and I'm going to invite you all to write down, what did you dream about when you were a kid? What was your imagination back then? In order to be able to annotate, for the people who don't know, on the top, you have a menu. If you click on the arrow down, I think the second or the third option is annotate. Can we take a moment to remember what we dreamed about when we were kids? How did we imagine that we will become when we will be older? What would be our job? But how did we imagine the world around? Yes, I see some words coming out. For the people who are with Hilde, they will tell directly to Hilde what their dreams were, and Hilde will type it to get with us. Some people are dreaming to become an astronaut. I wanted to become an inventor. I wanted to become an actor. Now that's really great. Wanted to become an actor. I never dreamt of being an actor, but since 10 years, I got a very special present from my partner who took me to the first theater lesson, and my world changed. And since then, I'm playing theater also on the national podium. Very nice to see somebody else had that dream. Pilot, I wanted to become rich. I wanted to be a footballer. I wanted again to be an actor. Martian artist. Oh, very nice, very nice. I wanted to be an inventor. I wanted to be an archaeologist. Aha. I wanted to become an astronaut. And more invention. Very nice. Musician. This is very interesting. And at the end, we all are here. People who study science, technology. We are engineers, researchers, scientists. Very good, very good. Keep on writing while I'm still talking. Now, because of that imagination, when we are kids, we dare to create, we dare to see the future in a different way, without any borders. But what happens is the following. We go in an educational system. And when we say, I would like to be an actor, most probably somebody will tell us, our parents, or maybe people at school, nah, that's not going to happen. No, you're not going to become the richer one that you want, or there is no job for that. I wanted to become somebody from police, says somebody here on the list. Next Einstein, others say, yeah, but you're not smart enough. So like that, we actually hinder ourselves from this creativity exercise, because slowly we are getting borders. We are then surrounded by borders. And because of that, we do not dare to imagine the future. We slowly get a little bit blind and we do not see the future as we would like to. We don't dare anymore to have that vision. I'm going to stop sharing. Thank you very much for sharing with us. Become a head chief, somebody said. Very nice, very nice. A tovenaar, I want to be a magician. Very good. Thank you for sharing this with me. Very nice, very nice. Good. So those were our dreams, but because we got all kinds of ideas and thoughts in our head, that limits ourselves from imagining. Now, if I ask you, how do you imagine 2050? Most probably those ideas and thoughts in our heads will come to the surface again and say, yeah, but I don't know what is going to happen tomorrow. I don't know what is going to happen in 1 year. I cannot even imagine what the world will look like in 2050. If we just think about our grandparents. Could they imagine that nowadays we are all having a mobile phone and we can communicate within a few seconds with somebody else? No. I think our grandparents, if they would wake up and come around and say, what is this? What is happening in the world? I cannot believe it, isn't it? Aha. So because of that limiting belief, that will hinder us from imagining then the future. And that could be, I'm not creative. I have no imagination. I'm just a student. I'm too young, I'm too old. All those voices come to us. So when we now start this exercise to imagine the 2050 and beyond, those voices will come to us. So what we do with them, we put them on the side, we look at them and we think, is this really true that I cannot imagine the future? No, it's not. We smile to these limiting beliefs and we put them on the side and we continue our creative process. That's very important. Very good. What I would like to do today together with you is to engage in this creative exercise when we imagine how 2050 and beyond will look like, how science and technology affects the society and how society eventually affects us as people. And here is very important to dream without any border, without any constraint, and not thinking from the perspective, yeah, I don't know if this is going to happen, but rather from the perspective of, I want to dare to imagine. And here you can go wild as you would like to. There will be nobody here who will say, no, this is not going to happen. No. Can you imagine, for instance, what artificial intelligence can do to us? How we as human beings, we will behave, how the society will look like. Will we solve the energy problem, for instance? Or will there be other problems that need to be solved in science and technology? And how the society will look like? We will all live maybe in smart houses. I'm just giving you some ideas, but I don't want to tell too much because I want your imagination to come to the surface. For that, I would like to make a drawing together with you. So each one of you has to make a drawing. You were asked before to prepare a white piece of paper and some colored pens. And if you have them not yet, then please look around to find some. You can also use your pencil if you want to, because we engage now in this creative world. And we do that based on a model. So please pay attention what you have to draw. When you do the drawing, most probably you think, oh, but I cannot draw. And it's not about how you draw, but what you draw, because we scientists, we have our head in fires and we have many ideas. When the moment we put them on a piece of paper, things will become clear. Things will be becoming clear and will be having a better vision. That's the important part. I'm going to share the screen with you to show you the model of what you have to draw. And please, when you do the drawing, it's very important that you do not use absolutely any word whatsoever. Yeah. Now, if this is us in the middle, the scientists with the head in fire, everything is happening here. The rest is just to help us move from A to B. Right here, right now, we are together with other scientists, with other engineers, with other people we had in fire. Right here, right now, we have an influence on the people around and they have an influence on us. We want to play a role here, at least in this lecture, with each other. Now, in the future, things can happen outside this larger circle. The future is something that we could not see. Those are all question marks. We don't know what is going to happen. But can we imagine what was going to happen? How the society will look like, how that influences us and how we influence the society. Think, for instance, an example, 9/11 was an event that influenced us, but we had no control over. Think about the crisis we are going through right now together. Do we have an influence on it? To some extent, but influence a lot on how we interact right now via the screen. Who would have thought that I will have here about 50 people in my living room? Nobody thought that a year ago. Yeah, so this is the model I would like you to draw. Draw yourself, the people around, and outside this circle, please draw what you imagine the world will look like in 2050 or beyond. For that, I would like to invite you to take the piece of paper and the pens you have and start the drawing. You have about 15 minutes, 1-5. If you think I'm ready before, no, you're not ready yet. Take the time to imagine. Think how the world is now and think how the world could be in 2050, or pick up an year later on, whatever you want. Whatever you want. The important thing is that you put all your imagination without being constrained by anything else. For that, we will have 15 minutes. It is now 1 o'clock. At 1:15, we come back. For the people who are in front of the screen, you can put your cameras off if you want. You can sit where you are. You can walk around to get inspiration, whatever you prefer. We will be back in 15 minutes. Have fun with the drawing. See you in a bit. Okay, may I ask everybody to slowly come back, to finish up, to put the cameras on, to see you again? Yes, thank you, thank you. Very good. Please make a picture of your drawing and make sure you have it on your computer as well, because the next part is also very interactive. We are going to see your drawing and we are going to explain our imagination to somebody else. Very good. For that, we really need everybody with the cameras on, because what we are going to do next is Willem is going to split us in breakout rooms with two people in the room. And that's important to remember. 2 people in the room. The first 5 minutes, person number 1 shares the drawing and explains the drawing and the imagination you have to person number 2 for about 5 minutes, and then make sure that you look at the time, then you change, and then person number 2 shares to person number 1 the drawing about the imagination of the future and how future will look like. Please use your enthusiasm. Please go into this explanation about the future with an open mind. Listen well what the others are saying. What did they draw? Was this something you imagined as well, or was completely different angle? That's very important. Yeah, so now Willem is preparing the breakout rooms. We are going to start the breakout rooms, 5 minutes per person. Share your screen with the other, with the drawing, and then after 5 minutes, the other way around. Okay? Willem, I give you the power to break us in the rooms. Very good. For the people who are with Hilde, Hilde will take care that you talk to each other. See you in a bit. Thank you. Welcome back. Welcome back. I think not everybody came back from the breakout rooms, but slowly people will show up. We send to everybody a message. Please join the plenary part again. So we will see some other people joining in a bit, but I'm very curious. I'm very curious to hear from you how you experience the sharing of your drawing to each other. Have you seen or heard anything extraordinary? May I ask somebody to just raise a hand and share what you have done or what you have heard from the other pair? Is anyone who would like to share? Yes, I see Sibren. He's together with another colleague of him. If you can put your microphone on, please. We don't hear you yet.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
I find it quite
where
interesting
are you,
that
first, where
Sibren
are you
and
calling
I
us from?
both have a very different. Oh, you can't hear me?
We can hear you, but my first question was, what are you calling us from? Are you at the university?
So, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can. Yes, we can.
Yeah. Okay. I find it quite interesting that Sibren and I really quite have a different view of what the future is going to look like. Some things are also similar, but some things are really quite different. So that was really surprising to me.
Would you like to share what was different and how is your imagination for the future? I see drawings behind you, if you don't mind sharing.
Sure. Okay. For me, okay, for me, it's really, Sibren's gonna hold it and then I'm gonna explain. It's really variating. For example, I like to imagine that we have flying cars or something like a hologram phone where you can chat with people, or this really Futurama kind of buildings and everything like that. But I also think that our nature is gonna be fucked. Oh, sorry. It's gonna be very bad. And we have overpopulation on Earth. And what else? I think there's going to be a lot of space travel in the future to other solar system, something like that, on the Milky Way. And that's a bit, in a nutshell, what I have drawn.
Thank you for sharing. And would you say that you would in 2050 like to go to somewhere else outside Earth? What will be your destination?
I would maybe keep it simple. Like first I would go to Mars or something.
Yeah, the closest by. Very good, very good. And what was similar with what Sibren drew? Him?
What is similar is that I also, let's be in the middle. But what's similar is that I also thought that space travel would be a thing. And I also thought about new technology. So for example, the quantum computer. It's a spin up and a spin down at the same time. But furthermore, I think I've drawn a bit of nature. So that's me with my kids. I think that there will be enough nature in the future, that we can handle our consumption and stuff, and that we can live in balance with nature. And there's a windmill as well.
Very nice, thank you. So you're in the way, from the two of you, the optimistic one. The nature will be okay. We'll take care that everybody has enough food.
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you, the two of you. Very nice, very nice. Nice to see similarities and also differences in the way we imagine the future. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Is anyone else who would like to share or heard something extraordinary that was so out of imagination? Yes, I see Matthijs and I see Andrew. May I start with Andrew?
Sure. So I wasn't having a chat with one of the participants.
Yes, with whom? Is he here still?
I'm not sure if he's still here. Abel, I believe.
Yes, I'm here.
Yes,
Yeah,
Abel. Yes, very
yes.
good.
And Abel's view was more realistic, I would say, if we continue on a path of unsustainability, let's put it that way, and which would mean, which entails like underwater, like places being underwater, and only people who have access to enough resources are able to cope with that, so to say, and people who don't have access to resources cannot cope or are forced to, let's say, leave this place, and that's what we shared.
You had similar ideas, or those that described were from Abel, isn't it?
That was from Abel, and mine was, let's say, in the circle of now we have like particle, the virus, and then searching for solutions, in which directions we as society want to go into, dive into. And
would you mind sharing on the screen your drawing so we can all see it?
Yeah, can you see a little bit?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so this here is us, and this is like the magnifying glass, like searching, and here we have the very tiny virus particle, so like the magnifying glass is searching for solutions, and this one here, it's kind of like a bit of a running, so people like running and maybe actually movements towards something in search of various things. And for the future, I have put 3 things. The sun is a little bit in the way. So I have here a sign of peace symbol. So hopefully there will not be any more wars and conflicts, which adds no value. And for this one, I have 3 symbols. I have books, the health symbol, and also like the thing you wear when you graduate, like, and also I wrote free because these are the things that I would hope and I think would also be much more free in the future, like access to open source information and whatnot. And for this one, it's a symbol like in a circle with 2 arrows, which adds more to our circularity, in the sense that how we will also move towards a society, circular economy, and whatnot.
Wow, Andrew, wow, thank you. So what you're doing now is actually looking at the now and at the present and projecting also for the future. And that's also a very easy way to imagine what will happen next. If we understand the now, or if we understand even the history, then it's much easier to have this prediction or vision for the future. And exactly what you did. I didn't see it before because I knew these kind of things can happen. And Andrew, very good. Thank you for sharing, Andrew. Very nice. I saw also Matthijs with a hand up. Matthijs, with whom have you been?
I was with Martijn Vlieger.
Oh, with Martijn, yes.
Yeah, we had similar visions in general, but the side where I would see people unifying together, because there's a lot of opposing views together, dividing people, and with increasing number of people on Earth, you might have an increasing number of visions that divide people.
Mm-hmm.
But Martijn had a pile of trash that was burning, and there were some people around it. So very suggestive drawings, but overall, he had an emphasis on security, for example, for the future.
Martijn, do you mind sharing the screen with us so we see your fantastic drawing? The description it makes us very curious.
Let me see. Share screen. I am allowed. Yes. Share. So yeah, I didn't take the full thing, but I look at the now and I look at the future. And there are like three things that like these things are not necessarily related, but they are. This is one major problem. Well, these are actually all three, but this one is really present now, and that's basically if you have logic, A follows B, but in the current society you have that B complementary, then A complementary in the same breath, which is false, because you can draw the diagram and then you see, okay, this is not true, but this is causing the rift. This is causing these splits. The other one you see here is, well, everything positive is good and everything negative is bad, which is an attitude. And the last drawing is the performer performing for the performer.
Performer performing for the performer. And what do you mean by that?
Social media, basically.
Ah, yeah, yes.
It's not my exact idea, but you know, it's better to steal something good than to like, yeah, think up something that's bad.
Yeah. Very good. Thank you, Martijn, for sharing. Thank you. And what did Matthijs draw?
Yeah, and
what
then,
do you remember from his drawing?
well, then you can share the screen, but I was like, what I have done is basically, if you go with this, then you go to like a dumpster fire. That's what this is. Basically, people warming around, seeing how things are going to be destructive. So we need new ideas, like about security, about like, will science be accepted in the future? Because, you know, I see with current media that, that, well, you have conspiracy theory and you have like, will it still be accepted? And things go online, which is sometimes good, sometimes bad. And then the energy
That's the
problem.
vision that Matthijs also shares.
Yes, the energy problem we were like in common, like, and he had basically like this drawing. Now maybe he can share too.
Yeah, if you stop. Right?
Yeah, okay.
So slowly wrap up, but then the last sentences from Matthijs.
Okay, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
Matthias, sorry, Matthias.
Oh yeah, no problem. Yeah, I just had an emphasis on the energy transition, and I strongly believe that it should come from the government instead of from the people. Although we can do some small gestures, but we see with COVID that it's very important to have measures come from the government. The other hope was to have nuclear fusion in the future for a green energy transition. And then I have like these crowds of people that all have different flags. I hope we can find some way in the future to have some unity between people, some shared values between people or shared visions. But now it seems people are getting increasingly divided. And then this is a black hole. These are some little gravitational waves. And this is a telescope which will be built in a few years, where we can learn more about the universe. And here I drew some quantum mechanical wave functions, so maybe we can unite both in the future.
Great, Matthijs. Thank you. Thank you for sharing, Matthijs and Martijn. Yes, may I ask you, yes, to stop sharing. Very good, very good. We do not have more time to see more of the ideas, but that is in fact how we create the future in a way. By daring to imagine, by daring to create, and not having any borders, and never wondering, is this really going to happen? Is this probable? But rather to think, this can be possible. This can be possible. And there we can go wild. Please keep on doing that in the future as well, whether you work in projects together, or you start thinking about your career in the future, or anything else that you would like to see what the science and technology can do for society and what society can mean for science and technology. With this, I would like to thank you for participating today. I would like to give the word back to Sjoerd to wrap it up, and then we'll have a small goodbye moments. Sjoerd.
Thank you very much, Maria. I really enjoyed it. Thank you very much for that. And thank you all for coming. Tomorrow we have another lunch lecture. But first, I would like a round of applause for everybody that participated today. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much for organizing and for being with us today, for sharing your thoughts, and a lot of luck for the next lectures. Thank you.
Tomorrow there will be Professor Anna Achukaro, which will have a traditional lecture about the origins of the universe. Thank you very much. You can now leave the Zoom.
Bye-bye.